today's topic is machine learning. So we'll try to understand machine learning in a very simple and layman terms. So let's see what actually machine learning means. So by definition, machine learning provides computers with the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. We'll understand this definition in a very easy terms, but let's see an example right there. You must have sometime played this game where you need to throw this paper ball inside the dustbin. It's possible that in the first instance, you're not able to put that paper ball inside the dustbin. What you'll do, you'll try again, but with a different angle. Again, maybe it's possible that the paper ball is there inside the dustbin, or it may not be there inside the dustbin. If it is not there inside the dustbin, you will try again changing the angle, and now maybe adjusting distance as well. And maybe next time you're able to put that paper ball inside the dustbin. So what just happened? You applied the learning thing. Whatever you learn in your previous concepts, you applied it in your next chances, and then you were able to learn. This is exactly how machine learning works. So let's see, what if a non-programming algorithm have been applied or a generic program have been applied, what would have done? So in the same example, if we would apply a generic program, that is the old program, then it can simply tell the computer to measure the distance and angle and apply some predefined formula to calculate the force. So let's say that this is your dustbin, this is your paper ball. So a generic program will say what angle should be there and what distance should be there. But what if new things are added? Like now you have changed a setup a bit and you have added, let's say, a fan in your settings. So now you have a working fan, and you know that if you have a working fan, then this generic program will fail because the flow of air will change the angle of the paper ball. So in this situation, these kind of generic program will fail. Then what to do? So then came these kind of algorithms for rescue, which are known as machine learning programs. So for the same example, if you apply machine learning program, they will begin with generic formula, but after every attempt, our experience, they refactor its formula. That is, they have the tendency to change according to the surroundings. So if you add something like air, a source inside in the background, it is possible that first time the paper ball doesn't goes into the dustbin, but in the next time it will learn from the old experience and it will try to reformulate itself. Now, main question comes like why machine learning matters. There are various things which are happening around our environment where machine learning is applied. Like you belong to any of the areas. Suppose you're a banker and you want to deal with computational finance for credit scoring, then you need to apply machine learning. If you deal with images and you want to apply machine learning for image processing or computer vision for object detection or face recognition, then the concept of machine learning works. In computational biology, again, like drug discoveries or DNA sequencing, machine learning concepts are applied. For energy production, that is for price and load forecasting, you need machine learning algorithms. Similarly, for automotive, airspace, or in manufacturing sector as well. Plus in natural language processing, where the voice recognition parts are applied. So these all are the applications of machine learning. So it is not just only that computer engineers require machine learning. Now it has been experienced in all the dimensions. So when you should use machine learning? So suppose there are some complex problem like handwritten rules and equations which are too complex, like face recognition and speech recognition, you require machine learning. The rules to task are constantly changes as fraud detection from transaction records. So new types of frauds are coming in the market every day. If you want to detect them, you need to apply machine learning. Again, the nature of data keeps on changing and the program needs to be adapted. So you cannot rely just on generic programs, but you need to go with machine learning things. Again, how machine learning works, this is a very, very important concept. Now, machine learning uses two types of techniques. You must have heard these techniques maybe before. That is the supervised learning and the unsupervised learning. These terms are recursively used when we talk about machine learning algorithms. Now, in supervised learning, it is a model which trains a model on known input and output. That is, in this kind of supervised learning, we know what kind of input and output we are dealing with. Fine. In supervised learning, it finds the hidden patterns inside the given data. So in unsupervised learning, we do not have the output data, but we try to find out the hidden patterns. So you can see machine learning is divided in two categories, the supervised one and the unsupervised one. Supervised is further divided into regression and classification, while the unsupervised one has only one category, which is called the clustering techniques. Now coming on to supervised learning algorithms, as I've already told you in the previous slide, that in supervised learning algorithm, the data, we have the known data type where we know what kind of input we are dealing and what kind of output we are dealing. We train the model accordingly and then we can do some future predictions. The supervised learning is further divided into classification techniques and regression techniques. The classification techniques, they are used to predict discrete responses. For example, like email is a genuine, that is, it is a spam or a ham, or whether a tumor is cancerous or benign. Right? Similarly, regression techniques are used to predict the continuous responses. For example, like changes in temperature or fluctuations in powers and so on. Then we have the different category of machine learning algorithms, which are known as unsupervised learnings. They are used to find the hidden patterns from the data which we have. The technique which we use is clustering, which is the most common unsupervised learning technique. In clustering, we group the data so that the elements which are inside one cluster, they have common features, and the elements which are there in the other cluster, they have different features than the first one. Now, let's take an example of an unsupervised learning. So suppose if a cell phone company wants to optimize the location where they want to build cell phone towers. So they can use this machine learning to estimate the number of clusters of people relying on their towers. Okay. So this is kind of the clustering. We have this kind of data. This kind of data is divided into three clusters. Let's say this is cluster number 1, this is cluster number 2, and this is cluster number 3. And these dotted lines are the cluster boundaries. Fine. Now, since we have seen what are supervised learning algorithms, what are unsupervised learning algorithm, but a question comes again, then given a data set, which kind of algorithm you should use? See, this is a very crucial question to ask. Like finding the right algorithm is just a trial and error thing. You know, even the very experienced data scientists, they have a confusion that which kind of algorithm is used for a given data set. So before moving on to how to choose, let's see a concrete structure of machine learning algorithms. So we have seen first what is machine learning, where we train our system so that it can predict future predictions. It is divided into supervised learning and unsupervised learning. In supervised learning, both inputs and outputs are known. So we know what kind of output we want to produce. But in supervised learning, only input is given to us, and based on two inputs, we try to make clusters or we try to make predictions. Supervised learning is based into classification and regression technique. Classification techniques are used when we have discrete data, that is the data which is not continuous. In regression techniques are used when the given data is continuous. Okay. Now my classification techniques are further divided into algorithms like support vector machine, discriminant analysis, naive Bayes classification, and nearest neighbor. My regression techniques are divided into linear regression, SVR, ensemble methods, decision trees, and neural networks. Similarly, when we come on to unsupervised learning part, then we have the clustering methods, and there are different methods of clustering like K-means clustering, C-means clustering, fuzzy methods, hierarchical methods, Gaussian mixture, neural networks, and hidden Markov models. These are the major techniques which are used. Apart from them, we have other algorithms also, which we'll be seeing in the coming slides. Now, so we want to think that if a data set is given to us, then which kind of technique we should use, the supervised one or the unsupervised one. So there is some thumb rule which I'm giving you. Again, it's completely your choice. You go with this or you want to make your own choices. So if you want to choose then supervised learning, so you choose it if you need to train a model to make predictions. For example, the future value of a continuous variable such as temperature or stock price or classification. For example, identify makes of cars from webcam video footage, or you want to find out the intrusion detection in your home, or suppose you want to find out that from the given images the images belongs to a cat or a dog, then in such kind of thing you go for supervised learning. Similarly, you choose unsupervised learning if you need to explore your data and want to train a model to find a good internal representation, such as splitting data up into clusters. Okay, so that is it from my side. We'll be continuing this series of machine learning, and we have more to come in the next presentation of ours. If you want to reach us, this is the address and the phone numbers and the email address. You can just find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well. Okay, thank you.